Hello Space Pirates! Today I will talk you through my latest game of the IGL, which is a Frostbyte against military orders. Sadly, this will be the last battle report for the IGL for me, because I had to step out of the IGL after this match due to an injury of my lung and an attendance in the hospital. It's always sad if people drop out, but there was nothing I could do about that, sadly. Recording now, I'm back home again and fine, so I will stand about that. So, let's have a look at the deployment. The initiative was won by my opponent. He did roll for a 15, so I did know it was Joan of Arc list. He decided to deploy second on the blue side, and I was worried about an alpha strike, or probably more. I was more worried about my opponent trying to grab many consoles and therefore making it hard for me to heat up my deployment zone, and therefore I decided to go first and grab the consoles to save my bodies. I wasn't too afraid of an alpha strike because I have a lot of repeaters and should probably be able to deal with the HI, and even if he brings Teutons, I was pretty sure I could handle them, but having the consoles was worth more for me. So I decided to go first, trying to do some alpha strike, and then see how the game runs. So I did deploy first. I did hold back 2 units. I did spend a command token to hold back 2 units. And I did hold back McMurrow and this Moran in camo state. I was considering to put the Moran down here and simply run for the console and grab it. This is why I did hold him back. If my opponent will null deploy, I could easily do that. And McMurrow, because I can try an alpha strike with him if I see the opportunity to do some damage with them. Besides that, I have my lieutenant on the right flank back and the decoy on the other one. Jazz here to secure this area. Both are pretty safe. It's hard to get in here. The Raven Eyes down here with the template and the submachine gun also protecting this stuff, and there's an EM mine also up here. So this area is pretty safe. And we have the Moran on top and the Crazy Koala down there. So another hacking area and another Crazy Koala for defending purposes. I did place my Harris down here. The Vostok will have a long fire lane up here, where my opponent will be out of cover, and therefore will have trouble to shoot her properly, and I hope to feel safe there. And since she has climbing plus, she can still fail guts and climb on that wall to the side and being out of line of sight. I have the Diablo here to stop anything coming in the front, and I have the Jaguar down here. So if anything comes that lane, he can throw smoke, and the intruder is behind with his MSV. Can probably leverage the smoke up there. The intruder can't be seen from somewhere over here. Yeah, there's no fire lane for that. He's also can look down here, and he covers some long fire lanes down here. So very late, it's possible to see the intruder. So he's pretty safe there. I also have the Stemplar down here. He provides a line of sight to the center. With his, he gets cover from there. Denying the opponent the cover, so it's okay. He He'll probably shoot his flash pulse on good range over here, so it's always a risk to engage him, so therefore he should be fine. Oh, this camo token was placed prone, by the way. I have Billy on this flank, providing some repeater coverage over here. Sorry. And so everything that comes down here can be handled with an EM mine or a pistol, whatever. So there's a lot she can do. And I have the evader on that flank. This way I have my attack pieces spread out of the map very well. The evader can climb down here and maybe grab the one console, or simply start attacking. Okay, let's have a look at the deployment of my opponent. I can't really remember which unit he did hold back. Maybe the Warcore or this camo token. I think it was this camo token. Besides that, he did set up a pretty nice arrow play. He's playing a core link, paint train with Joan of Arc, with a lieutenant, Deferson, Spitfire hacking device, Night Hospitaller with an HMG, Night Hospitaller boarding shotgun, and the Doctor. So every range band is covered, and a lot of hit points are within that team. He's playing limited insertion because it's only 10 units on the play, and I knew that because he did hold back one unit, and the information, if it's one combat group or two, is open information. He also uses the Teuton link, the Teuton Harris, as his arrow positioning. The Spitfire, which is his Master Breacher, is the leader, and he's hiding somewhere because he will need him later. But he's placing the Teutons in arrow positioning. Both have the Panzerfaust, so that is a perfectly suitable arrow. They can first shoot their Panzerfausts with burst 2, and after that they can still dodge, and they are unlikely to lose 2 wounds in one turn, because they have at least armor 3, they have 2 wounds. They're pretty durable. I like this play a lot. So he's covering the center with them, he's covering the left flank and the right flank this way, so perfectly fine. The Warcore is also providing overview to just be annoying and being there to drain me orders. So after this, I decide not to run for the center console directly, because I have this arrow tower that I will have to deal with first. I can't use McMurrow properly because I have to run through that tower in the first place, and he's not that good. What would I like to attack here? Teuton Knight in CC? Not really. So I don't think McMurrow will go for a run in the first turn. I therefore decide to place the camo token over here, which remember was set prone afterwards, after I did take my save game. Being ready to run for the console, but being in the safe position until then. And McMurrow over there, with the idea to provide smoke for my intruder, because that will be probably my play to attack them, this Harris and the arrow positioning with my intruder. Okay, so that was my holdback, and he then placed the camo token over here, which has to be dart from my perspective. I'm sure there's nothing else with camo -3 in military order. It could be a mine with a Trinitarian, Yes, but it's unlikely. Okay, so that was the deployment, and I did start with my first turn. During my first turn, I really act as intended. McMurrow is throwing smoke over here to give the intruder the opportunity to pick his engagements. He starts over there, starts shooting at this Teuton, I think. And due to his surprise shot, this Teuton gets -3, and I succeed with 2 wounds. So he's unconscious, fine. He's then shooting the second Teuton, only causing 1 wound. He's dropping prone, as expected. This way, with the smoke, I deny my opponent the opportunity to shoot his Panzerfaust, because he's shooting on probably +3, but -6 for smoke, -3 for mimetism, and -3 for cover, so net -9. So that's very low chances for him to do anything against me. So this is a very safe play for me. So I picked this Teuton Knight next, and finally put the Warcore unconscious as well. Takes me 2 orders, but nevertheless, that's okay. That's 2 orders taken out. I'm running out of orders, so I'm just recamoing here. There's not much that can see me, so I'm feeling pretty safe with that. Will be a long bomb to discover, so I'm fine with that. Unfortunately, I was always shooting through these decompression zones, so only birth 3. This doesn't help to get much done here. But in the end, it's 1 dead or 1 unconscious Teuton, and that's fine. That's all my group 1 is doing. Group 2, my Tomcat comes in over here, clicks the console, heating my deployment zone. Also heating up or blowing up this ice block here with his decharges. So fulfilling his classified. And then he decides to go over there and stay there. I'm feeling quite safe. It's a long distance to get to me, and maybe he can start attacking somewhere over here. Since he is climbing plus, he can simply climb above this, my opponent's HVT. So he has a lot of mobility in that flank, and probably my opponent will have to deal with them, and that will cost him orders. So nothing really happened during this turn, besides some HMG shooting and classifieds doing, but I at least clicked 1 objective. Unfortunately, I forgot to take a save game after my opponent's turn, so we will discuss the turn from my opponent on this state of the play as well. But there's not too much mobility moving around. My opponent is also playing very safely and uses his doctor to trying to pick up the Warcore, but he fails his physics roll and dies. He then picks up the second Teuton Knight again, very nice. So he was able to heal nearly everybody. And then they start stomping at my Tomcat. And that's the vision of my opponent. I really like that, so I will adapt that. We agreed that there are some heavy stomps from stealthy knights coming around to show some force coming for them. And he ends up somewhere over here, spread out behind this wall, and Defersen tries to spotlight the Tomcat. I was sure he was trying to do his classified. He tries to do some hacking, but he has only 1 order left, and he fails with that because Tomcat does reset successfully. So shuffling around a little bit, trying to be conservative, healing everything and repositioning to the left flank. On this flank, I think this Teuton Knight runs over there. Also a little bit of repositioning, but nothing too special happening. One thing where I get really lucky is he runs his Teuton with the his Hospitaller with his HMG over there, and declaring a discover and shoot at my camo token. And since he has a calling, he has good chances to succeed with that. I get cover and mimetism, but he also gets the plus from the calling. I decide to not do anything because it was one of the first orders here, and if I would reveal, I don't see a lot of chances for my intruder to survive because he can just bully more units, more orders into that, and I decide to go for the risk and not succeed. Him not succeeding with that, but he does succeed with the discover, and he shoots me 3 times. And I think I will have to do 2 or 3 armor saves. Unfortunately, I survived them. That was really lucky. With that, I'm failing guts and going prone and be in a safe position again. But again, that was really lucky for him. Yeah, so my intruder is performing averagely on that tournament. He was got unlucky a few times, he got lucky a few times, and so I'm still very happy with him. So he wasn't that safe as I expected. I forgot basically about the calling, which improves the discover a lot here. And that was a risk that was maybe unnecessary because I could have just gone prone instead of going into camo to protect him better. So during my turn, I decide to run attack run with the Tomcat Engineer. I want to leverage his light flamethrower and the calling, which is positioned in a tight spot. Unfortunately, I'm not really pulling that off properly. The Tomcat starts climbing around here to go over there, getting spotlit during that process by Defersen. That's fine. I have we have this position, I think. I think I'm first, or he's blocking line of sight. Not sure. I think I get 1 free shot at Defersen with the Tomcat first, but he does make all his armor saves, I think. So that's just sad. And then I just peek out over here and return back. And that was a mistake probably, because now Joan and the boarding shotgun are both looking at the Tomcat. They're all shooting well at me. I think he's dropping the link, or Defersen is at least dropping out of the link. But I can't really shoot as it's back again. And I realize it's too short for the template. So it would probably have been better to simply move over there and place templates. This way they would have had to dodge all of them, because Flamer can kill them. Or if they shoot me, I would have at least probably wounded a lot of them. That was a misplay from my side. In the end, he dies to shots from Joan. He's spotlit, and just 2 good shots from her. So that's not played very well from my side. Besides that, the random shooting goes on. I again used the intruder, I think, to throw smoke over here. No, I don't need to throw smoke over here this turn. He's moving around, moving over here on the bridge, discovering Dart and killing her, and then from somewhere over here start shooting at individual knights. He's dropping the Knight Hospitaller Doctor unconscious, which is great. He's not succeeding with the HMG one. I think he only causes him 1 wound, and I can't gain line of sight to anybody else, sadly. And that shows how durable they are to a regular HMG, always again with decompression zones and only burst 3. But the intruder is doing the load of the work this game, and he's trying to shoot everything. Besides that, I'm coordinating a lot, moving the Stemplers down to the front a little bit more, and the Moran is grabbing the second console. This way I'm having more consoles. I don't believe my opponent will explode my consoles. He won't do that, or manage to do that. Therefore, I'm feeling safe on that spot. I'm with Dart being killed and the Doctor being killed, I'm pretty solid on points. Oh yes, the Vostok is moving forward as well, trying to shoot the Knight Hospitaller HMG. And I'm leaving her there to, even though it's barely in good range, but I'm relying on my Mimetism -6 and cover and a lot of armor, and he also only has an HMG. I have 2 wounds, and if I get a wound, I can still fail guts over there. So I'm pretty sure I should be fine there, and the MK12 can cause a lot of wounds to him because it's a lot of damage. So I consider the chances here higher than the risks. With the second group, I'm doing a interesting play. This term I realize I have the Master Breacher order, so I decide to run Jazz over there because everything is pretty safe. I'm not considering my opponent to run at my deployment zone, so I should be fine. And Jazz is running over there to trying to long shot a repeater over there. I think it's -3 or -6. And she succeeds with the first order. If that would have failed, this way I did go into impersonation state. If that would have failed, I would just have stepped out into the room again and out to try it again. So it's at least 2 tries on low numbers, so at least 1 can land. And this repeater is big for me because it has all 2 turns within the repeater range. It covers the center and the left flank, so that should be an important part for me. Having her in impersonation state is nice, but nevertheless she's not very easily to attack. It's not very easy to attack her because you can't shoot through the building, so you would have to go into the building. There are repeaters. It's hard to get to her. So this is a play that is worth a lot without doing any risk to me. Okay, so during my opponent's turn, he uses the Knight Hospitaller to shoot the Vostok and gets kind of lucky to knock her dead right away. I think she fails all her shots. Oh yes, in the first round he's barely out of 24. We decide by a dice roll if he's out or not. And this turns out he's out, so the Vostok is shooting on -6, unfortunately. And with the first time, I think I hit the HMG, but he makes his armor safe, and he tries again and wipes the Vostok from the board completely, which is really lucky. But causing 2 wounds would have been enough. No, I think he shoots her unconscious and then double taps her to wipe her totally off the board. But taking 2 wounds was, yeah, sad, but in the end worked. And he's then moving his Calling to the center. He's first moving the Teuton link away to bait my Jazz out of impersonation. I'm trying to isolate the Teuton Knight with a Spitfire, but I fail with that, sadly. This way the Jazz is out of the impersonation, and Deferson has 1 order left to try to Trinity her. And she's Trinitying back, and I think he succeeds with 1 attack, but BTS 9 is good enough for her to survive that. So that's a quite risky play, because the link is now exposed there, and we'll see how I can leverage that. So during my last turn, I proceed with the same tactics I played so far. I place smoke over there to give my intruder the chances to pick his engagements the way he wants. He's then standing up and shooting at Deferson first, because trying to Trinity him is always a risk for getting back, and the intruder should have good chances. He's armor 4, but he's not in cover. I'm shooting on 16s, so that's and he can only dodge, so there's no risk. I'm going for the plays that don't have any risks. I think he's trying to shoot the Deferson, but fails to wound him, or causes 1 wound, can't really remember, and he's failing guts over there, and then I have to use Jazz to Trinity Deferson, and she's succeeding. She's hacking on 17, I think, and he's hacking on 14. Yes. And she succeeds and drops him unconscious, which is important for me. The intruder then shoots the wounded Night Hospitaller HMG, who is not in a link anymore now, to death, which again is important for me. I'm a lot ahead on points now. We both were playing very defensively and doing the long range shooting, and yeah, that's pretty nice. For the rest, I decide to try to go for the evader and run him around over here, over the bridge, getting over there to get 1 shot at the Teuton Knight. Teuton Knight successfully dodges, sadly, so all my 4 shots bounce off. This could have turned differently, but in the end this happens. Sadly, I wasn't able to give it a second try because I ran out of orders. But going for this is just trying to cause as much wounds as possible. They are in the hacking area here, so I want to keep the pressure on them. But this doesn't succeed. Finally, I do place some units in the center, because I don't believe I can outscore him in the center, because yeah, he has this heavy units. If he manages to bring one heavy unit into the center, he will easily outscore me, but I want to force him to do so. And I will bring only cheap units into the center. So the Stempler Zond is moving over there. It's at least as the marksmanship and the forward observer. This can be very annoying. And it's Billy, which is dead cheap. I don't care if she dies. So this is my try to score something into the center, and my opponent will have to deal with a lot of things now. He will have to deal with these two units. He will have to deal with the evader. He will have to deal with the repeater, and I hope that's basically just too much for him. So far, I did kill more units. I did score the two consoles, which he can't take from me anymore. We both scored 1 classifieds. If he's holding the center now, it will still be a win for me. Even if he succeeds with his second classified or secures my HVT. So I'm just trying to make it as difficult for my opponent as possible with putting only low army points to risk. Okay, so my opponent really pulls off this game during that turn. He manages to make a really nice play, and we'll have a look at that. He first uses the Tutor Knight to try to engage the invader, succeeds with the hacking against him. Basically, Jazz is failing her hacking attack. The Teuton is critting my Evader is critting the pistol shot at the Teuton, but doesn't get him unconscious. I unfortunately fail to see that the Billy would have had a flash pulse at him, but in the end that didn't matter. He's just zooming at the Evader, trying to CC him, but only causing 1 wound. They are now in CC. Teuton is then isolated and locked over there. I think he's also shooting at the Stemplar, maybe, and dropping her unconscious. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Besides that, he realizes that he has the Deferson unconscious, and he has the classified of rescue. And if he brings the allied trooper inside the enemy half of the table, this will give him 1 more objective point, and that's just enough to make it a draw. And he then uses his units moving around down here. I think they avoid the hacking as well. This Tutor Knight gets lucky there, and at some point simply templates the repeater twice and removes that threat from the play. And the other Teuton is picking up Deferson and bringing him down there, and barely makes it into my deployment zone. And with that, he scores this classified, and he scores the center as expected. So that was a really good play on a difficult classified to make it a draw. In the end, this game was did show a lot of shooting, long range shooting, a lot of simple HMG shooting, and both players playing very defensively, staying back and staying in cover, and we're shooting around across this crate. But it was a lot of fun, and I really like this final play of my opponent, and this made him deserve this draw. I think the luck was average on both sides. For me, it was very lucky for the intruder to survive over here. In the end, my opponent was lucky with my HMG shots at him and Vostok shooting at him and some of the hacking not working against him. So it was average for both of us, I would say. So it was nice positioning, and they were very durable. Was a nice list, was a nice thing to see, the pain train, and yeah, this many heavy units working. On the end, it was not too much about tactics this game, more about simple shooting and doing armor saves, but that was fun as well. So, as mentioned at the beginning, this is the last battle report for me from the IGL, sadly. I had to go to the hospital due to an injury of my lung, and therefore I had to sadly step out of the IGL and couldn't participate in the other matches anymore. But now I'm back, I'm fine, still recovering, but see you next time.